Just pick them back up.
Girl, you done made me sit up now.
Speechless? Why you speechless?
I just say because it's like I'm like with a celebrity couple right now. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. Um, hey. So I am starting Fire Talk tonight. Yay! Here I am. So Dorcetta will be on here later on, probably in a few seconds to join, maybe a few minutes to join us. So I will be starting Fire Talk tonight, and I've gone through and I still have some of the words that I never got a chance to really go over from when we some of our previous shows. So what I'm going to do now is I haven't gone through and selected the words. So I'm going to do that now. So it is 7:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Florida time, yo. So I'm going to pick a couple of words and see if we can, look at the definition of the word and use the word in the sentence and to see how the word can be perceived by each person or by each other. So I'm going to do, I got this one here. I know I haven't talked about that one before. And I'm going to talk about, hmm, I got two words. So we'll see. Now I have my two words already selected here and here. And then I got some beads because hopefully I get a chance to make some jewelry while we're on here. And I know that we do the conversation. Used to see Cheetah. He is up on this screen though. See, that's why I said, let me open this up. Let me see if I can turn this around. I don't think I can. You better get down. He was up on that screen door at the top. So sometimes when we're on here, we do our conversation starters. But I remember that I also have the affirmation cards that I use that I like to look at too. I don't always post these or anything like that, but I do go through them. Me and my sister Kim, we got these affirmation cards. And this one says, "Today I am curious. Today I will open my mind and explore new possibilities and opportunities." Hey, Dorsetta, how are you? Yes, I can talk about a positive mental attitude to start. So, um, with that being said, talking about a positive mental attitude, um, with me, I look at each day that I am blessed to wake up as a birthday. Yes, my original birthday on my birth certificate may say November 21st, 1969, but each day that we are blessed to wake up is a birthday. Some of us have family and friends or know someone that may not have woken up today or may have lost someone. Life is short, you guys, and I am learning to not stress about tomorrow. I definitely can't change the past. I can grow and learn from the past, but I don't dwell on the past. I'm living for today. And another thing that I'm learning to do with having a more of a positive mindset is to not to continue to be a procrastinator. I hope I said that right. But being a well with me and the word that should be another word we're gonna use. We're gonna use procrastinate and see all the different ways that we look at that word and how that affects each one of us. But I'm going to continue to work on trying to not continue to put things off until tomorrow because tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. So, with that being said, you guys, let's be grateful and thankful for each moment that God blesses us to see. And whatever you do, just know that you are loved by your Creator unconditionally. And there's always, always, always something to be grateful for. And if He blessed you to wake up that day, you're here for a reason. We already know we're here for a reason. So, and if there's areas in something that we all need to improve in, which we do, don't let that hold you back. Don't think that God looks at you or loves you any less because He loves us, each and every last one of us, unconditionally. And He has forgiven our mistakes. And I'm learning to also thank Him for forgiving me and my sins, but also to forgive my own self. So that's one of the, wow, that's one of the words. I didn't even know I was going to talk about that right now. But yeah, so forgiveness, forgive and forgiveness is one of the words that I wanted to talk about today. So with that being said, I am so excited about being here on this Fire Talk episode. I'm excited because they said that first of all invited me to be a co-host when she first started this, and now I don't know what episode this is. This might be episode 8 or 9. I'm not for sure, and I'm getting a chance to start. Wow, I am so so grateful. What a blessing. See, we never know what doors God is going to open for us. So let's be pliable so He can continue to mold us into the people He created us to be and welcome all of His mercy, His blessings, His favor, because there's no limit to what He can do. So I don't know. Oh, Dorsetta said episode 10. Episode 10, 10. We should have confetti and stuff. Oh, hold on. Perfect. Hold on, you guys. This is the confetti. It's not really confetti, but yay! Episode 10. Yay! These are balloons. Yay! Episode 10. These are balloons, and that's one of the things that I got these balloons because I want to talk to you guys about something. Later on, I don't know if I think I'll probably wait for Dorcetta to join us before I talk about the reason that I got these balloons and what I wanted to talk to all of us about. Um, so give me 1 second. Hello? I can't hear you.
Oh, hi. Sorry, let me turn down my TV. Oh my God, I can see me on my TV.
Hello there. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. What's your name?
My name is Daytriel. Uh,
Hello.
I used to go to school with where D Lovely. I don't know if
Oh,
I'm supposed to say her name on here or not. I'm sorry. I was trying to set up something that way I would be stable and not walking around with my camera.
oh, it's okay. I'm so grateful you joined.
Thank you. I've been wanting to, but I didn't know. And today I got a feeling that I probably should.
Welcome, 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 welcome. So you went to school with her?
I did actually, and she was usually very quiet until we had like this project. I think it was in Mr. Legero's class, and she found out that I'm a born bae, and she's like, "Do you know who you are?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Desriel." And like she was like telling me a whole bunch of history and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you actually know like for realsies who we are and." What our families have been through and our heritage and all of that. And I've always loved her and her opinions. And both of us are very, I would say, pro family. I'm pro family as well. I'm a little bit more, I would say, out there, a little bit more risque, a little bit more, yeah, yeah, you know. So the way that we handle family life is a little different sometimes, but I would definitely say that the foundation of what she speaks of is definitely true. It just is what it is, whether you like it or not. There are some different strokes for different folks, but what she says, I will tell you probably 95% of the time. You go with that bad boy, you're going to be fine. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to hop on, especially since I saw that you guys are speaking about mental health. I actually just got home with my daughter from getting her some shoes and like taking her to, from school and everything. But I saw that y'all were on mental health. I wasn't in the group earlier, but as someone who has had mental health problems her entire life, someone who used to be on medication and has been off for a couple of years, I
Wow.
can speak on all of those different things. I was diagnosed as bipolar when I was really young. My parents, one of them is a depressive, the other one, bipolar. Our family has been very open about these things. At least in my generation, we never knew the world without discussing them and without having coping skills and things of that nature. We would rather do coping skills than meds a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, some people need meds, like absolutely. But for those of us that can learn coping and how to basically handle ourselves and what we need to do to keep ourselves whole, I think that's better for us than the meds, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Not to
And,
cut
and
anybody
the
off, I
other
just don't
thing,
know what we're talking
so
about
you
yet.
know how you said you're a little risque and everything?
Oh yeah, I
That's
used to be a
beautiful.
professional twerker.
A what?
I used to be a professional twerker, literally.
And so I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. It's not you, it's me. It's me.
Oh
Um, but by you being a little risque and everything, that's exactly who you're supposed to be. And that's the beautiful thing that God made each one of us in our own unique way.
no. Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful that I've learned through some of the things that I've experienced in my life that yeah, I made this way for a reason. I'm not perfect, but there's nobody else like me. And my own, because I'm a little bit out there too. I'm a little bit but I'm embracing that. I'm embracing that, and I think I always have, but I think I'm at the point now where it's okay to be who you are. It's okay. Nobody else has your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Nobody else has your fingerprint. So if anything, just continue to be you, love yourself. And then as far as the mental health, it's so beautiful that you have your own testimony, because you can help other people who may have those challenges. There could be somebody who may not even know the word for it. They may be going through something, not for sure exactly how to deal with it. So for you to have your own testimony, you never know who you could be helping. on their journey in their lives, because we all are dealing with something. And that's why I'm so grateful that we have a platform to use to discuss topics that may not necessarily be talked about, and if they are talked about, we may not know how to get to those people or listen to those topics. So this is the chance for us to share and to maybe help somebody else, and then open up the doors for other people to maybe ask questions, give references and stuff, and share their stories and share their experiences. So I'm so grateful that you jumped in here like that with me today.
Yeah, all I saw was mental health, and I'm like, oh, cue me, cue me, because seriously, it's a thing. Even growing up in a family where it's not stigmatized and it's kind of seen as an everyday thing. Like my mom used to be like, oh, all you got to do. And I know now you can't call it crazy, but my mom used to be like, all you got to do is figure out what flavor of crazy we dealing with. And we can go from there. You know what I mean? And in my family, it was never a shameful thing.
Good.
And actually find power in figuring out how to deal with those sorts of things. Like when I was through junior high and most of high school, I was on different meds. And when I became an adult again, I had gone off meds for a while. I had my son and everything. And then a couple of years later, I went on meds again because I was trying to come off of alcohol. I felt like things were just really bad in my life. And I have been self medicating with alcohol for years. So
Mm-hmm.
I went back on meds, and one of them made me homicidal, one of them made me suicidal, and the other one made me so manic that I literally spent $10,000 on my friends, and then turned around and cried one day because I couldn't get lip gloss and I just needed to buy something. And that whole journey was bad. So I got off the meds again, and then I went back on them a little while after I had my daughter, because the feelings that I was feeling, I was just like, it was so overwhelming after I had my daughter. Like my perspective on life changed. For a little preference, my daughter and son are 13 years apart. Like my son turns 18 tomorrow and my daughter turns 5 in October. So between that time in there, I went through so much, and after I had her, I felt these almost, I guess they call them soft feelings that I had never felt before. I was never that girl. And it literally had me so sad for humanity and like for the world, and I felt overwhelmed and what is going on. And after a while I started thinking there was something wrong with me, when now that I've been off the meds for a couple of years, back then I went back on it just to be able to cope in some way, shape, or form. Like I went back to work as soon as I was 6 weeks post cesarean with her, which is probably another reason why I started getting depressed. Like it was crazy, like crazy. But this time when I went back on the meds, it was forgetfulness. It was being numb. It was not being able to show love to my family and friends like I used to. And since I knew what it was like to show them love and all of that, I couldn't stay on those meds and not provide them with that sort of thing. So I weaned myself off again. My husband, he helped me out through the entire thing because the girl was a wreck. But people don't understand a lot of times when they go on these meds that these people are practicing medicine. They're
Mm.
practicing, and they say practicing for a reason. The one question that I've always had about mental medication since I was a child was they always told me that it was a hormone imbalance. Yet, not once had they ever checked my hormone levels. Till this day, as a 36-year-old grown woman, I have never had my hormone levels checked. So, how can you tell me that I have a hormone imbalance if you never checked them? The
Wow.
times that I got my brain waves actually checked was when I was grinding my teeth and having issues sleeping, and I was blacking out and waking up in other places as a teenager because of the meds that they gave me. Like it was crazy. I used to literally wake up in parks,
Wow.
like, or
Wow.
just outside somewhere and not remember what happened, where I was, if I was awake when I left. And my mom thought that I was sneaking out sometimes, but some of them times I really wasn't sneaking out.
Right. Right.
out as she was. When I snuck out, I was like, yeah, mom, I did that. But when I didn't sneak out, I really didn't sneak out. I was really just waking up at other places. So it's just a lot of things dealing with mental medications that I just feel like if you are not in your natural being trying to hurt yourself or others, maybe you should look at other options because these medications that they are putting, they are messing with our brains. They really do. They mess with our minds. They don't these people are not actually testing us if we have hormone problems. They're not testing us in our brains to see if these SSRIs or whatever they're putting in us are actually working or not, or if we ever even need them. And again, they're protected because they say they are practicing medicine. They
Right.
are not out here guaranteeing anything. And all they do is they watch different types of people and what you're going through, and then they make their assumptions off of that. Yeah, they're making educated guesses by this point because it's been in the system for a while, but let's be real, a lot of these medications haven't been out long enough for all of us to know for sure that they actually work on everybody and how they actually work, because a lot of these medications are new, and I didn't know that until I started speaking to people that are actually above 60 years old. And a lot of these medications that they are splicing and giving us nowadays are the medications that these people used to party off of back in the day. So
Mm. Mm.
it's just a lot, and I just want people to be educated about it, because luckily I did have a family that is very supportive. I do have a husband that's very supportive. But for those of us out there that don't have that, people just think that you're wigging out and going crazy when you're actually on something that is supposed to help you, but you are cycling, is what we call it. Is when you're going in and out of those medications and you have to cycle in, you have to cycle off. Like it's, and then you got to cycle into another medication. You don't know what that in between is going to be. You don't know when you're going to feel normal, as they would say, like, because most of us have never felt normal our entire lives. I would just, I don't know. Look at the places that you're great. Hone in on that, on the places that you feel that you're not great. Start nurturing it rather than judging it. Start figuring out how to cope a little bit better. Maybe you go through times that you can't be around everybody. I have those times. Like I can't be around everybody. It looks like I'm around everybody all the time, but I'm not. I save content for the times where I'm in my house for 2-3 weeks and the only people I see are my family and my clients. That's it.
Mhm.
you know, so I would suggest those things. Some of us can't be around everybody all the time, and it's better than putting ourselves on meds that we don't know what is going to happen or why.
Now, can I a couple? First of all, thank you so very much for sharing. Um, Let me ask you this: if there was someone, or if there was another version of you, a younger version of you, or if there's anybody that you could say something to help them with a more of a positive mental attitude with meds, and understanding that sometimes you do have to be on meds and sometimes you do not, what would you say? What would you say to that person?
I would ask them if they feel completely out of control. If you are not on meds and you are blacking out, you are overly aggressive, you can hurt yourself, you can hurt the people around you. If you are just losing your mind and spazzing out or feeling anxiety to the point where you're shaking in the morning, you're shaking in the afternoon, you're shaking at night, you have in a fear of going outside or going places that would be seen as irrational. If you are having irrational, I would say, issues, I would definitely try therapy. And then if the therapist is like, okay, you might want to try a psychologist, then go to the psychologist. But I would try therapy of some sort before going to a psychiatrist. Because once you go to a psychiatrist, you have to understand that they are there to basically sell you mental meds a lot of the times. Your therapist is the one who's going to talk to you about your situation. They're going to help you through, they're going to give you coping skills. Your psychiatrist is going to say, okay, here's a chart. You have these things going on. This is what we should probably prescribe you. I have never been to a psychiatrist who has told me, girl, you're at the point that you don't need meds, or girl, let's lower your dosage, or girl, let's do this, then the third. You know what I mean? In order to kind of shy away from meds. So what I would suggest is go to therapy first by yourself. And then if you have issues, like you need to work out with your family, your friends, this, that, and the third, ask if they will come with you to
Mm,
therapy. If
mhm.
those things do not work and you feel on your insides and mentally unstable, by all means, please do get psych meds, because some of them do work for some people. You know what I mean? And when you are extreme, you got to go to extreme measures. You might need to get on the meds and then cycle off later. But from my experience and the experience that I've seen through the generations of my family, I also noticed that some of the wildest and craziest kids in our family, I can't even call them kids no more because they all super grown and older than me. By the time that they hit like 45, 50, they don't even need meds no more. It's something about getting wiser, more elderly, something in your spirit that calms you down. And most of my family ain't even on psych meds by the time that they hit 50. Whereas, a lot of us have been on psych meds since we were children, even like my parents and stuff. So I would definitely say, if you're out of control, if your family is trying to have interventions and you can't see their love, because sometimes that's another thing. As a depressive, sometimes you literally can't see their love. You can't feel their love. You think everyone is against you. If everyone in your world is begging, begging for your greatness and you can't feel it, at least hear their words and try. Don't have too much pride to not try. You know what I mean? At least try. With
And
the
children
medications,
with breathing.
to make sure that your family there is to support you while you're on the medications, because you're going to feel all sorts of different ways. And
Yeah.
yes, it's an opinion, not medical advice. I am not a doctor. I'm speaking from my own experience and what I have seen out of a plethora of friends and most of my family, people who are born 19 like 68 and on, a lot of them. So
And
know
thank
this.
you for and I appreciate that so much. And then Children with Breeze, thank you so much for the disclaimer that this is not medical advice. This is our opinions. And she was so gracious to share her experience and share her opinions with us. And we are truly, truly grateful. Now, as far as having a positive mental attitude, what would you say today as far as having a positive mental attitude, how you looking at things?
I would say find things that you love and do it. Like,
Yeah.
period. At the end of the day, we're all human. Yeah, everybody's about getting their coin. Everybody is about, having a little clout or whatever. But what makes your soul actually sing? And whether it's a hobby or you're making money off of it or you just do it for your own private whatever, make sure that you do that. Make sure that you're around places and involving yourself in things that edify you, that build your confidence, that make you feel positive feelings. And in those times that you can't feel those positive feelings, because some of us, we just don't, you have to find something in your world that makes you happier, that is not things that will hurt you. Because
Amen.
a lot of us, we lean into things that may not be the best for us,
Amen.
for really temporary fix for problems that go on for a little while. So for me personally, looking back to what made me happy as a kid, a lot of things that made us happy as a kid: dancing, singing, acting, hair, games, running, jumping, playing, spinning around in circles.
Double
Hell, like
dutch.
yes, double dutch. So nothing make me happier than when you could jump into a double dutch, you know?
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
like to do some cartwheels, find you a field as a grown person to do some cartwheels in. Go get grounded. Find different activities, different groups. Just don't be alone with your own thoughts that could or could not be lying. Don't completely isolate yourself that way. I know that I said earlier, sometimes you can't be around big groups, but again, that's where this smaller support system comes in. If you have even one or two family members or friends that are there for you, or you can find a support group if you don't have anybody that can be there for you, so you're not constantly on your own with these thoughts that are telling you things about people, places, and events that might not be true. You'll find your way back out of your depression. You will find your way back out. It may last for a minute. Goals always help me out. Goals make other people feel pressured sometimes, but I'm a goal girly. For those who have, I'm an entrepreneur, just to let y'all know. Those who have like a steady, sometimes I don't know, throw yourself into that if you like it, but you have to have a beacon, a light, something like that to look at and look forward to. If it's that one trip with your cousin a year, you know what I mean? If it's, oh, I get to see my granny every other weekend, I got to be here. You know what I mean? If it's, I love my puppies. I have friends who be so depressed and be like, girl, I'm still here because my dog. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So sometimes we don't always have that confidence, you know but we have to get there, and we have to have those little speckles of light, that little glimpse of hope, and remember that as long as you have breath in your body, you have another chance to make every single moment better than the last.
And
Just remember that and hold on to it.
yes, and I'm so grateful you said that, because it's like I said, as long as God bless us to wake up, that's the start right there. There's always something to be grateful for. And sometimes when those thoughts come to our minds that we really not for sure what it is, like I've learned to do, just like if I was watching television and something was on that I did not want to watch, I'm going to change the channel. The same thing with the thoughts that come across my mind. If it's not something that is of God or pleases me or uplifts me or makes me feel better, I'm getting rid of it. I'm not gonna let it just continue to play on and dwell in my mind. So I appreciate you for sharing. I hope you come back and join us one day.
Hey, I'm glad I caught y'all. I came in, I was like, oh,
Always
on
welcome
TV.
here.
Let me show you on my TV. She on my big screen too, y'all. Look at her. We in here
Oh, I love it.
on the TV. I was like, there go my girl. Let me get on here real quick.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for joining, Datriel. I was definitely listening to a lot of things you said, and you touched a lot of different things. Especially when it comes to mental health and finding a balance between taking meds and doing natural things. You really touched in on that because, like you said, sometimes meds are not for everybody, and sometimes when things are extreme, you do tend to need to go extreme. And so, to add on to what you said, meditation, um stuff like sage, eliminating the bad energy around you, meditating, exercising. I think you spoke on that. Dancing, dancing and music is very helpful and can play a huge role, which is why you also have to pay attention to the music you are listening to. Um, because we can't you when we feel down, we listen to down music, and don't it make you feel better, but sometimes don't it make you like sink more into it, like
It
I'm
do.
sad, so I'm gonna listen to a sad song. So definitely just a lot of the things you said were you touched on a lot of things. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Are you gonna stay on with us, or are you gonna go off?
I could stay on or go off, whatever y'all want me to do. I don't know if somebody waiting. I don't want to take up nobody's hand.
Oh no. So it's like this is I wanted to keep it like an open panel, open discussion. So where there's multiple people on the panel, you can mute yourself when you don't have anything to say. When you do have something to say, then just go ahead and chime in once whoever's speaking is done.
Sure. I'm with it.
Okay, cool. And so, I do think that when it comes to having a positive mental attitude, like I said, your mindset plays a huge part in keeping your mental attitude positive. I know on one of the episodes we were talking about healing yourself with your mind. It kind of worked like the placebo effect.
Mhm.
Like when you let's because not everyone knows what the placebo effect is, and I just since we talk about words and their meanings, we want to go into the correct definition, not just me explaining it because I might be a little bit off. Mom, do you know what the placebo effect is?
For the definition.
So you saying no, huh?
I did that real smooth, didn't I? Come on.
You did that smooth. You did. What about you, Datria?
It's basically when you use something to basically trick your mind into making something happen or feel. So basically, in medical science, like sort of things, they will give half of the people in their study the real medication, and on the other half, they will give them a placebo, like a sugar pill. And people who actually believe that they're taking the medication, even though they're not taking the medication, usually end up healthier. So basically, if you're a manifestation girly, it's a thoughts become things sort of thing. If you're about the Bible, it's you send up a prayer, a blessing comes down. It's very what you believe you conceive, and what you conceive will be right here in front of you, kind of like birth sort of thing. So that is what the placebo effect is. So it's definitely a mental thing, because I mean it's sugar pills. Why would it work? But because your mental is so much better, your body becomes better too, because your cells are connected to your body. Everything, words, all of that. That's why they say speak positivity over your life and over others. Make sure you stay up on your prayers, your affirmations, all of that. Because
Right, right.
become things.
Definitely.
Back to my affirmation. I don't know if you guys had a chance to hear this from the beginning, but it says, "Today I am curious. Today I will open my mind and explore new possibilities and
I
opportunities."
love that.
Mhm.
I love
That's
that.
a good one. That's a
That
good one. Thanks for reading that, Mom. And so, Google's the placebo effect is when a person's health improves after taking an active substance or intervention that looks and is given the same way as a drug or treatment being tested. The word placebo comes from Latin and means "I shall please." Placebos can be sugar pills, saline injections, or therapeutic rituals. They can work because of the person's belief in the treatment, their expectation of feeling better, the characteristics of the placebo, their attitude, and their relationship with the doctor. For example, if a person is told that a pill will help them relax and sleep, their brain might stop producing stress hormones and release endorphins. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, princess. And so, that makes me think about when I had a toothache. Like, I'm not big on medicine, but when it comes to a toothache, it's just something I have not been able to go the natural route. It's not working as fast as I needed to.
Are
So,
they
that's one of the times when I would take a Tylenol. How about when I take the Tylenol, it start working right? It feels like it starts working right away. And I'm like, I know this didn't start working right away, but it's your mind knowing that this Tylenol is about to make me feel better. You already know the outcome, you already know what to expect. It tells you what it's going to do, and it all plays a part in your head, and it does it. That's what it does. That's what it do. And so that is the placebo effect. So that's why when I spoke on healing yourself with your mind, staying positive, having a positive mental attitude. If you have some type of it, can you heal yourself with your mind and you have cancer? I don't know. However, keeping a positive mental attitude will stop you from sinking so far down to where if you're to stressing you out, stress being stressed about feeling that you have cancer or something else, not feeling like there's no hope or no cure for it, because a lot of times that's what they say. All of that plays a part in your head, and how the situation is affecting your body. And so you want to make sure you're keeping a positive mental attitude. And so I like how you guys went into that. You know, that wasn't a planned conversation. So it's kind of good that we touched on that, because there are a lot of people that, you know, deal with mental health issues. And me, I have, after having this fifth child, my anxiety is through the roof. I mean, like through the roof. And so some things that have helped me were talking to my mother. So that's that point, that part you said, you know, it's about the support you have around you and the people you have around you, hearing certain things. Meditating, as well as some things that you can that worked for me was magnesium. So if your magnesium levels are low, that could play a part in your anxiety and your stress level. So magnesium was something easy and natural to look into, that had a effect right away from what I feel like. Or was it the placebo effect? I don't know, but either way it go,
It
it did help.
know that because when the vid popped up, a girl like me was like, "Oh, let me get that magnesium and that vitamin D real quick." Guess what? My anxiety went way down and I felt a lot better. And she was a baby when that mess ran around. And out here, I'm in Arizona. Out here, they was shutting us down, girl. They did a lot of stuff. I was anxious. I started taking them vitamins because I was like, me and my baby ain't finna catch whatever that is. And they said, girl, good. So it was actually the vitamins.
Oh, look at that. That's great. You know, we had our babies around the same time. So I definitely remember that time. Just being pregnant and having a newborn around that pandemic was definitely challenging.
Now, another thing that I've recognized that I'm working on, and I'm sharing this to maybe help others work on that. When we talk about the words that we use, we also have to be mindful that the words that we say out of our mouths, we hear those words a lot. We hear those words more than anybody else. So, something that helped me is not to take my my anxiety, my depression, my addiction, those are not your things. So you have to give that back to wherever it came from. So this addiction, this depression, this anxiety, give that, throw that back, because that's not ours. That's not ours. So when you're speaking on those things, yeah, we may have situations that we're dealing with, but just watch the words that we're saying, because those are not ours. Those are not of us. Those are not our, because God created us free. He didn't create us with all of that. So give that back to wherever it came from, but we're not saying my anything. If we do say my, something's going to be my freedom, my joy, my happiness, my overflow of abundance, my favor. My God loves me unconditionally. He's carrying me close to his heart, things like that. But other things, give it back.
I definitely agree. Thank you for that, Mama.
Thank
I know something Datrielle said. She was talking about goals and stuff when it's coming to figuring out things and dealing with positive mental attitude, and something that can help. I think with goals, sometimes we set our goals too high and then they're not achievable. And then, that can make you feel like you're failing. And that's not always the case. So sometimes I feel like we need to make sure we're not setting our goals too high. And if we feeling like they're not achievable, and and that's if we're feeling like they're not achievable, just take it down a step.
I,
Take it to something, it might be just to make your bed every day. Take it to something that is very achievable, and something that you could see the progress. Even something like, taking care of a plant, because you can see that process. Something that's working out, you could see the process. Things where you could see the process and measure the outcome, or easier goals to take on, just to uplift you and help you feel good, so you can achieve those bigger goals. And just because you don't finish something or don't achieve something, don't mean it's over. Sometimes you just might need a break, just a little reset.
I tell people all the time that success is accumulative. And honestly, you want to set those high goals, but know that that's your highest goal. All the ranks you got to go through between there, you need to celebrate, you need to love on yourself, and you need to show yourself grace. And also realize that a lot of times when we set goals and we're trying to get to them, we're also learning on the way. So I tell people, yeah, have that goal, but sometimes that year goal might become a 2 3 year goal. Be happy about all of your smaller accomplishments. Don't just celebrate the big wins, celebrate the so-called little wins too. And I used to tell people, if you can't take a day, do an hour. If you can't do an hour, do a couple of minutes of something, and take it minute by minute. And some days it just be like that. Some days it's just that hard and you're going through that much and you have that much doubt. And if you can't take that minute, break it down into seconds and
Amen.
keep going, because time is going to keep going. It will go forward and you will too, as long as you take the time and you don't just stop. Don't
Amen.
become stopped and stagnant and just placed where you are. So whether it's, okay, I'm going to make my bed today, or okay, I'm not going to wear sweats today. I'm gonna put on something else, or you know what, I'm gonna be in the house today, but I'm just gonna wear a dress, or I'm just gonna do my makeup, or I'm just gonna do my hair and just be here and just look at me in the mirror and love on me. I tell women a lot of times who are feeling some sort of way about their body, I'm like, your mission is to look at your body and find one thing.
Amen.
If it's the shape of your lips. I don't care if it's a little tattoo on your thigh. I don't care if it's like the way the bottom of your feet look. You know what I mean? Find one thing about yourself that you like, even if you can't find nothing that you love, and we will go from there. And I also tell people affirmations are everything. At one point in time, I had to do what I said, lie to myself every single day until I believe it. You believe all the lies of the world that are said about you.
That is so true.
Don't believe that you're beautiful today, still tell yourself you're beautiful. You
A-
believe what everybody else tell you. You might as well brainwash yourself, because if you ain't brainwashing yourself, know that someone else will. Listen
Yep.
to
a-
podcasts and things that can help you. That at one point in time, podcasts were my friends. Literally, because all of my friends weren't doing stuff that I was trying to do anymore. I wasn't trying to live like that. So podcasts were my friends. They were my mentors. It just, I was alone. It was what it was, and I needed somebody or something. So find some podcasts. All of us have access to a lot of free things nowadays. Even if you got to do YouTube for free and get the commercials within it, go listen to, someone who's gonna help you. Follow them on their social medias. The main ones be posting stuff every single day. And if you gotta block everybody and just have people that you don't know as affirmations all day on your stuff, do it. I promise you, of all the people in the world, you gonna find your people, because we are connected to everybody through the internet now. You'll find them. Like you
That
just gotta go find and fight for your happiness. Yes, my love.
that is so true. Thanks for sharing that.
just like
Juan, you had something to say?
Yes, just like she said, we believe things that other people say. We trust other people. We try to please other people. Then why not? What I'm choosing to do is trust my creator, because, like I said, nobody else has my fingerprint. And I am made, I know that we each have something, and it's not just one thing. We have multiple things that make us unique and make us different. So look at yourself and be grateful, because first of all, God made you in his own image. So that means, and he said, you are a masterpiece, y'all. We are masterpieces in his eyes. And if he's the creator, I'm going with what he says. I'm not worried about nobody else. No, see, I've changed that. That whole mindset has changed. I'm not like, I don't worry about that anymore. And I don't know if I've ever really been too worried about that. But I'm just looking at things a little bit differently now. Like I said, my mind is alert, my heart is receptive. I would never, ever be the same. And I'm so grateful for that. And when you look at it, if we all have our very own fingerprint, that's for a reason. We're not supposed to look like nobody else. We're not supposed to be built like nobody else. We're supposed to be made exactly how we are. Even a twin wouldn't have your same identical fingerprint. That's how much, that's how special each one of us are, that we have our very own fingerprint, nobody else. I mean, come on now, a fingerprint, come on now. Yeah, love yourself. Love yourself the way God loves you. And He loves you unconditionally, each and every last one of us.
Thank you for that, Mom. Thank you. I definitely agree with everything you said. And I know something for me, it's a little bit challenging for me to with affirmations. I don't know if it's just because my mind is always everywhere. I never take that moment to affirm things and go through affirmations, which I need to do more of. I know something that someone has told me that they done was record their affirmations. You know, they'll get a background music, they'll record their affirmations on their phone, and then they'll play them back and listen to it so they can hear their own voice. So even though while they might not be saying it, you know, I could, my mind might be everywhere, but since I like to listen to music or I like to listen to podcasts, I could play the affirmations that I pre-recorded, and I'm still, you know, having them play in my head and probably going to start singing or speaking along with them. But that's just something that I said that I was going to do to help me out. Some people actually write them down on the mirror. um so it could be the first thing that they see in the morning. Some people write them on the refrigerator since they have to go in the refrigerator quite often. Some people write them somewhere in their car since they're in the car, and you know, so affirmations are definitely something that I'm pretty sure can be beneficial to us all. Yes, mother.
One more thing. Guess what your auntie does?
What does she do?
You'll never guess in a million years.
Is it um uh talking about affirmations?
And a little bit deeper. She writes herself a love letter. Isn't that so sweet? She writes herself a love letter. Oh,
That's cool. That's
and like
cool.
something simple as Kimberly, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much, Kimberly. I really thought that was so.
That's cool. Writing things down to be able to have the mentality to think it, to feel it, and to write it down is just like triple time manifestation. I remember before I got this house, for homeschool, we did a vision board. In the vision board, on the vision board, I had put several things. I put like, you know, SUV because our family was getting bigger. I put a house because we needed a house because our family was getting bigger. But you know, and we wrote letters to ourselves a year from now, from that time. And so, like my children, like Rias was like, I'm gonna have 1,000 subscribers, and or no, it was more like, yes, you did it. You got 1,000 subscribers. Your channel it looks like this. You have this many videos, and so we wrote a letter to ourselves, um, as if we wrote a letter to ourselves to in the future. And so when we opened those letters later, it was so cool to see because a lot of those things happened. We did get an SUV, we did get a house. And actually, let me show y'all real quick my 1 second.
I'm making jewelry.
So this is my vision board that I did 2022. And so I got some stuff. I had my smoothies. My smoothies, I was doing really well with my smoothies back then. Knowledge, you know, I said I needed to read more, which you know I did. Sea moss, just health. And where is my one that I see all the time? That is it not on this one? Oh, a new weekly podcast. And so when I tell you guys, like I have, you know, I make sure I join so many different podcasts, and now, you know, with trying to create my own as well, that was something so cool. Like, you know, just to be able to feel like you want something or envision something, to be able to write it down and to be able to look at it all the time and then watch it come to life in real life, that's cool. And we can do that with so many different things. You know, it don't even have to be like this was for the next 2 years. It could be a vision board just for this week. You know, it could be just for the day. It could be just for the month. So I do think I love vision boards. And even if it's not a vision board, just writing it down, making a list. Make a list. And when you see that you could check something off the list, that makes you feel good, right? Even if it's only one thing or all of it. So, and that also goes for, you know, not making your list too big because you don't want to feel like it's just too much. Start small if you need to, and then work your way to where you need to be.
I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. And so I'm glad that we talked about that. So while we, Mom, you want to pull out a card real quick before we go into our next topic?
Yeah, so these are conversation starters. So let's see here. It's been a while since we've had one. Let's see here. We did that one. So I'm gonna pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And since we have a special guest on here, do you want her to pick the number, Drusella?
Sure.
Okay, okay. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. Which number would you want us to pick from?
7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 says, "What is your least favorite house chore to do?"
Ooh, probably, God, it has to be between like the dishes and the toilet. Probably
Really?
it's between the dishes and the toilet. Like literally anything, everywhere, all the time. I'm 1000% in. But Mr. Awesome is usually like, yo, I will get the dishes and the toilet if you do the rest. And he usually does like the outside work. And I'm like, I'm with it. And I'll even help with the outside work. But my
Oh,
family does not know how to like scrape. Like in like when I was young, we used to like take the paper towel, wipe everything off the plate. And then we had the dishwater that you put your dishes in. My family, we could never have dishwater. They just throw the plate in like, bro, have garbage disposal don't mean food just to be like that. So they don't act right.
I
okay.
definitely am with you on that one. However, I would clean the toilet all day. I do not want to wash and fold any clothes. OMG. I do not. They gonna stay in a dryer for like a week. You better, especially if I don't need to wear anything, or especially if it's the kids' clothes. Oh, they not going. OMG. I do not like washing and drying. I'll put them in the washer, but folding them and putting them up, that's a whole different story. So I'm happy that the children are getting older and can kind of do that themselves because,
Yeah.
yeah.
I took over
Wow.
the laundry because it ended up all over the house. Like I do pretty much everyone's laundry except for Joshua's because I'm like, boy, he's 18 tomorrow. I'm like, bro, do your laundry. I'm like, my husband, he go out there, he works so doggone hard. I'm about to hang up all 22 of these shirts. My little she helps me. She'll help me when she's home with the laundry. She puts away her own clothes. She tries to fold them, but she don't fold them small enough yet. But yeah, at least a load a day. Otherwise, I'm behind because everyone changes multiple times a day in this house.
Yes. I definitely have. I think I have so many clothes, and I don't even need all of them, but every time I try to, go through them, I'm like, do I need this? Yeah, I need this. I might be able to fit this in a few more, I might lose a few more pounds, or do I want this? Yeah, I had this forever. I can't get rid of this. And so they say if you want new clothes, you got to get rid of the old ones. So I need to, I might need to go through and get rid of some of the old clothes if I'm looking to get some new clothes.
Well,
What
for
about you, mother?
I don't know if I have a What is my least favorite house chore to do? Dishes. I wash the hell out some dishes. I don't use the dishwasher. I don't know how to use the dishwasher. I'd rather fill up the sink with some hot water, get it done. Um, laundry. Put it in the washing machine, the dryer, fold it up. I don't like putting it up, but
Leave it up to Destiny. I don't know about you and the laundry.
what that mean?
She was talking about you like when we were there.
Like what?
You know, she said she's wondering why the covers didn't get dry. She put covers, towels, and shoes in the same load.
Well, first of all, towels and covers can go together. Shoes,
Yeah,
they might have needed a quick dry, so I threw them in there. Um, Work clothes and stuff like that, I take to the cleaner. So I don't really have a hard time with that type of stuff. So a chore that I would least like to do, um, I really don't know if I have any like that.
really.
Yeah, not yet that I could think of.
Okay, okay. Okay, so pick a number 1 through 25, Mama.
25.
25? Okay, I'm gonna pull this up fast because I ain't want let me see. Ooh, I can't see. Hold on. I can't see it. So skip that one because I don't want to get all close and then I can't zoom it up. Okay, well let's do one more of your conversation starters before we
Okay,
do my thing.
okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many cards you want me to pick?
Hubby called and I got kicked off. Oh, it's okay. Last day, if you want to join us back, you know what to do. You still got the 1 through 10 or 1 through 9 now?
I put those back.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with 7 again.
Okay, so 7 says, did we do this one already? If I gave you 100,000 to spend today, what would you buy with it? Okay,
I
hold on.
think we did.
So I got to mix them up. Uh, if you opened a restaurant, what type of food would you serve?
I would definitely serve some healthy, natural food.
Okay,
I would love to have a garden just for, just like a restaurant with all garden food. That'd be cool. I would go to something like that. Or I would like, like a breakfast cafe. Cause I think like some breakfast sandwiches, some coffee, some smoothies. I would like to sell stuff like that.
okay, that's good to know. Okay, I appreciate that. Me, I went totally different. I would think like, and I guess I don't know all the stuff I can't eat, like fried chicken, macaroni and cheese. Uh,
We had some fried chicken and macaroni and
from,
cheese and sweet potatoes today.
from Lisa.
No, we didn't have it. I made the macaroni and sweet potatoes, and then we had some chicken from Jules.
Oh,
Jewel.
and what about Ryan's macaroni and cheese? That looks so good. Did y'all save me some?
Hers was better than what mine. I tried making it today without the Velveeta and using like the actual block of cold cheese, and I don't know what happened. They ate it, but it didn't turn out like when we used the Velveeta.
Well, Ryan put her foot in that macaroni and cheese, and I hope y'all cut me a block of that cheese and put it in the freezer bag and put it in the freezer for me because I'm being dead serious now. I hope you did that for me.
You know they tore that macaroni up, so we gonna have to run that back, mother, when we get back together one time.
Oh, okay.
So you said you would put like all the stuff you can't eat in your restaurant. Is that what you said?
I would have a lot of stuff in there that I probably shouldn't be eating. Yeah,
Really?
healthy stuff. I think smoothies would be good. Um, I think a green garden would be good.
Okay.
And you know I'm a prep person. So I prep the hell out some fruit. I cut up some fruit in a minute. So a fruit salad, a fruit bar.
Oh, that sounds nice. You don't see too many of those, right?
Yeah, you don't see too many of those. I do see it, but I would have a different fruits too. And
Okay.
that's that I'm learning here. Just because I'm in Florida and it's always hot here, doesn't mean that certain fruits are in season, it still has to go through a season process. Like, what are you talking about? Are you serious? So when mangoes are in season, they're like 98 cents a mango. When mangoes are not in season, you might get 2 for $5. Like, what do you mean 2 for?
Right?
Just because it's hot here doesn't mean that certain fruits are in season. It all has to go through a season, I guess. So I'm learning that.
Yeah, I'm learning that too. And see, the watermelon is not in season right now, I guess, because I'm not finding it anywhere like I was able to find it just like a couple weeks ago or like a month ago. And I'm so sad because you already see a lot of videos with watermelon, like they're exploding, they got foam coming out of them. And I only get seeded watermelons, and so I haven't seen any. I really wanted one so bad like a week ago, and I was so sad that I couldn't get one.
Do you guys even have like yellow watermelon, or we have yellow watermelon here sometimes. Sometimes we have pink pineapple. Like the outside is still green and yellow, but the inside is pink pineapple.
I've seen those on TikTok.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen them like actually in store.
In Florida. Oh, forgot you're in Illinois.
Oh, gee. Okay, then. That was a good conversation starter. I definitely, yeah, I would like love to have like a little cafe or something. Yeah, that would be cool.
I can see that. I can see that. And I
Yeah.
would
Only thing is I don't really like cooking like that anymore. So,
so do your smoothies.
yeah, that would be. I could see that. I could see that.
Get that blender Carlita got. She got a bad blender, man. It takes the ice, and the ice be so, the Italian ice that you like. The ice comes out that fine. It looks like little snow crystals. I'm like, what blender is this? I want one of
I'm
these.
gonna have to see what blender she got.
Yeah, yeah. It makes the ice so perfect.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Um. Okay, so one of the topics I wanted to go into was because this is back to school week. And so, of course, with the age of social media now, or just, how social media, are we able to children's first day of school, the pictures and stuff with social media? So, you got the grandmas in different states, family in different states who get to see, you want everyone to get a chance. And, social media is good for that. Like you're able to share things, even though you could send a person like a message or something. You could put it on social media, and you could have 10 of your family members see it versus sending it to all 10 family members through your phone. And so everyone's posting their children's first day of school. And we start school soon. I'm definitely enjoying these last couple weeks off. But yeah, so a lot of children have their first day of school, and you know how the first day of school used to be. Was it like this in this made me think of that episode when I was like back in the older days, and you was like, well, first of all, I don't know about anything back in because I wasn't around. And
I still don't know about back in the older days.
so back in okay, wait, hold on.
Previous
So
year. Previous year.
okay, so when you were going to school, was the first day of school like something like you had a new outfit, you got your hair done? Like, how was the first day of school? What did that look like as far as preparation?
You might be better off asking your auntie because some of those days I don't even remember.
Really?
So back, it depends on what years you're talking about.
Let's say high school.
Oh, maybe the beginning years, maybe. But not the whole outfit. I don't think I've ever really been like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
So,
think we ever really like that. I know we had new clothes.
mhm.
uh, we had to share clothes sometimes, so we probably spread them out.
Okay.
I don't know if we would have worn them all that first week or two, because then we would have been out. So by us having to share clothes, I don't remember us wearing everything that first week or anything like that. I don't think that was us, but I can't speak for Kim and Vaughn. I can only speak for myself, and I don't really remember it like that.
Did you get like a new hairstyle or
Not that I remember. My
paint your nails?
oh, I always did that. I always did that. I don't know if I did anything specifically for a new school year though. I can't say that for sure.
Okay. I think for what I remember, like I remember us getting new clothes,
Did
and I might have, you might, gave me a new hairstyle or just did my hair.
yeah, did your hair.
Yeah. And that's a, new backpack and maybe a pair of shoes or a couple pair of shoes, right?
Hmm.
That's from what I remember. And it was the base of it was new school supplies.
Crucified.
Like, right. And so, okay, it's a whole different game now. They getting their eyebrows done. Like, it was a question, like, should I take my child to get their eyebrows done? People were saying, like, yeah, because, kids don't be wanting to have no bushy eyebrows and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that, they were saying that even at a certain age, it's okay to go get your eyebrows done. I never, if you had bushy eyebrows, you had bushy eyebrows. We weren't really, I don't think, getting them arched or anything. They were what they are. What they were.
Well,
What about
back in y'all days, I can say that eyebrows and things like that. I don't know if, especially for high school, because to get your eyebrows arched or something like that, that was for more of a mature thing to do. I don't know if, yeah. See, that's the whole thing. We look at things differently now, but you have to look at who's saying that these things are okay. Not saying that they're necessarily wrong, but who is saying that this is okay? And I think one person may do it, or a couple of people may do it. Then a lot of people jump on the bandwagon. Um, but I think that if we stop to think to say, well, who's saying these things are okay? We always have to remember our household is our household. And just because other people are doing things, don't mean you necessarily have to be behind them doing it. And remember back in the day when people did want to be followers, like I'm not a follower, like, but now we're
you?
following all of this type of stuff, following behind other people, and you know,
Now we are very much a trendy, following trends type of generation. Definitely follow like I think I said on another episode, like I remember they had like a cinnamon challenge. Like it was putting a bunch of cinnamon on a spoon and putting it in your mouth, and people were choking, coughing, spitting it all up. Like why would what is the point?
yeah,
And then we record ourselves and put it, and yeah, so stuff like that does get. And there's one where teenagers were standing up against the wall and pushing each other's right here and get into the wall until they passed out.
see
and
who wants to even participate in something. See that's
and
what
I think that even though they knew it was wrong, it was just the fact if you seeing everyone else doing it that
so now
made you feel like, well, let me do it too.
you do. So now you're a follower. You don't have the ability to see. That's the thing. We have to remember that we're all made different. We don't have to be doing everything because other people are doing it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole. Mm, mm.
Right. Felicia Robinson says social media says it is. And I think I'm not sure exactly what, but I think she's talking about just it's okay to be followers, maybe. Maybe that's what she's talking about. Says social media says it is. Um and so yeah, like it was a post going around today that was saying like, why are we let so many of our daughters wear like mini skirts? Like remember when I was in school, you had your skirt or shorts had to go past your fingertips.
That was
Like
the rule too.
you said what?
That was the rule by the school too. The school had a dress code.
They had a dress code. Now, I don't think it's a lot of schools don't have dress codes or they're not being followed. I've seen so many short skirts. I've seen so many children that don't even look their age. And so it might not even be that they have on anything grown or anything like that. It's just the fact that you might have like a seventh grader with arch eyebrows, with their nails done, with a matching skirt, matching purse, matching, like that's you didn't really see that too much with children. So now they have this saying where Gen Z, that's basically like Jamari and Raya's generation and stuff. Are they Gen Z? Or I don't know if that's Destiny's generation. Anyway, the generation younger than I am, they saying that they're aging like milk. They say our generation age like fine wine, meaning we might be older, but we don't look our age. We look younger than our age. And then they're saying this new generation is aging like milk. And so meaning that they look older than what they are. So I just want to play a few of these. These are some videos that were actually, oh, I didn't even add them. OMG. These were some videos that were actually like on TikTok, and people asking how old they look. Um Felicia says the way the kids dress. Oh, she says social media says it's okay the way the kids dress. Yes, it's definitely and sometimes I feel like the parents are taking more pride or are concerned more about the way the children are dressing than the kids are actually themselves, because some of these poses that I'm seeing of how the girls are posing and stuff, they're not posing like that on their own. Their parents are telling them, like, just they're not natural. And I think that we're grooming our children to be older than what they are, and that comes from the way they dress, from their language, their behavior, the things they're saying, and all of that. Like I seen she was in junior high, I think 6th grade, and she had a full set of acrylic on. Like, I just don't, um I feel like when we do these things, which it has been, which the statistics have shown, that these things are distractions for the children in school to care so much about the way they look, where they're not really focusing on much other things like their work, for their school supplies. Like, they're paying more attention to their clothes and fashion, which, some people like fashion. I get it. But this is why a lot of schools have dress codes and why they have uniforms, mandatory uniforms, because it do play a part in the education. We already know how children are, how teens are. They're in their early years. They're just starting to experience sex and stuff like that. So seeing the way that seeing the way that we're dressed, like if girls are walking around in short mini skirts and we in school, can you imagine that some of the young boys in school could be a little distracted? Um, because you wouldn't expect to see that in school. Linda Temple, thanks for joining, says, but it don't make it right. Right, it doesn't make it right. But we have this placed in front of us, and I do think that we just have to make sure that we're being mindful of how we judge our children. I did put on a post earlier today that I said that it's really getting out of hand. These young girls are already getting their eyebrows done, full set of nails, wigs, extensions, lashes. They even got a skincare routine, which would be great if all the products they were using weren't full of chemicals and ingredients that are toxic to the body. These little girls are wearing exactly what adults should wear, just a smaller version in size. And the women are wearing bows in their hair. It's so confusing. Then we get upset when the man can't tell the difference between a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old. We are letting our daughters do everything we do, and they're still little girls. Let them be little girls. And so I really do agree with this, especially wigs. Like, I remember when I was in high school, a wig was like for a grandma. Like, we weren't, you
Well,
didn't, you weren't a grandma when I was in high school. So before you say
because I
you
did
were
wear a wig. So, but and you
in
were
high school,
yeah, in when you were in high school, but that didn't make me a wigs were not wigs. Might see you think see yeah because you're thinking about wigs back in the old days. Wigs have been, but see that's because wigs have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Um, we just got exposed to the a few decades ago, right? That's decades ago. We just
about
got them ourselves. But that's the whole thing. Like with the things that are changing, because change is going to happen. Change,
right,
but the aggressiveness of change and the way things are changing, who is this really benefiting? That's the whole thing. And why is it that we feel as parents or as a community of people or just people as a whole, why do we feel that we have to either jump in a bandwagon or go along with this? We have a right to not do the same thing that everybody else is doing. We have a right to raise our children the way we want them to be raised. Because at the end of the day, we have the control. We and see when we feel like we've given the control over, or it's because everybody's doing it, or this is how the times are. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean that we have to go along with it.
right. I
So
like how you said that too, because like I said, I have my way of wording things, and people already, you, said, like someone said in the comments, said that this is the way of. Well, I'm not gonna say that's what they said. They said that uh, this is very much pedophile sympathizer speech. So they saying that because I said that someone said if a man can't tell the difference between a 16-year-old and a 22-year-old, it's because he doesn't want to know the difference. And I said that I have to strongly disagree with that, because there are young girls who are developing so much faster because of the foods they eat. Some of them have bigger chests and busts than adults, and then they're dressing the same as us and even listening to the same music. They talk like us, and they're even wearing the same hairstyles as us. So I do think that makes it harder for men to determine the age of a female, especially if she hasn't opened her mouth yet. Because sometimes she can look a certain way and look older than her age, but when you talk to her and you see her mentality, you might then can recognize, oh, she might not be as old as I thought she was. But we're just talking a visual, because all of this is visual to begin with. That's where it started. So when I say things, oops, my bad.
and
Um,
just let me just go back a little bit. So that's a beautiful thing. Just like we're talking about um, the change that's happening now, okay, with everything that we see and the new age and everything. That's the same thing with people's views and opinions. Everybody is entitled to one. And just because you may say something differently, or because you may read something the way you saw it posted, doesn't necessarily mean that what you're saying is wrong. It's just that you may have a different view, or you may be reiterating what you've seen. So it's not that you be saying I'm not going to say that you be saying anything wrong, because we're all entitled to our own opinions. We're all entitled to, and it just because we're entitled to our own opinions doesn't mean we always have to give them. But with this being an open panel and an open discussion, that's why we're able to have these conversations and invite people in to share their comments, their concerns, and their beliefs and their opinions, um, which we all have. and nobody's is right or wrong. That's the whole thing. Because I'm not saying that the way people are dressing their children and everything is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is whoever, that's the whole thing, just like with some of the award shows. Okay, when did we go from watching performers, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with change, because change is going to happen, but when did we go from watching like artists like MC Hammer and all of these like dancers and artists and stuff, to some of the things that we're watching today? That's totally different, but that's my opinion. But who
But I
said
think what you said is good, like, because these are our opinions. But like you said at the first, who is this benefiting?
who is this
As
been?
far as so I think what I was going to say is, don't look at what I'm saying and like find as a trigger, like, oh, well, she's saying this wrong. Turn it around the way my mom is saying it. Look at it from a different perspective. Who is this benefiting by our young girls dressing the way that they're dressing? Who is this benefiting? And so while the person in the comments said is, what you're saying is dangerous, rhetoric, basically giving a grown man the excuse to pursue young girls. This is very much pedophile sympathizer speech. I agree with the majority of what you said until that part. And I said, which is why we need to watch the way we dress our daughters, because there are pedophiles. Not only that, but that, we can't eliminate that. If they're a pedophile, they're going to be that, regardless of whether the way our children is dressing or not. However, we can't change that about them, but we can change the way that we are dressing our daughters, especially if it's not benefiting or it's causing this type, um if it's not beneficial to,
Beneficial? And
it's not beneficial.
protect them. Our job is to protect them. Our job is to protect our children. And I don't know if what I said was adding because I'm not giving. I don't ever want it to be like, well, I'm saying that the way they're dressing or something gives somebody the right to do that, because that's not what I'm saying. But I am
Right,
saying that we have a responsibility as a parent to protect them by all means, because people out here are on whole different levels. This is a whole different level, and there are people out there who will take advantage of our children. People out here who actually think about these things ahead of time, actually who fantasize about these things. My job is to protect them, and I think that if I don't think anything that I said today was saying that by the way somebody dressed or by the way somebody acts would give somebody the right to do anything. That's not what we're saying.
right. Hey, chilling with Breeze, welcome, welcome, thanks for joining.
Hey, hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I am doing fine.
Thank you
i
for joining
like how
us.
I like how no matter what you're doing, no matter if you rip in the streets, in the car, you always find a way to stop by, stop through, and say what's up. Thanks for that.
We
For sure,
appreciate that.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, I appreciate y'all too.
What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's rolling around, you know. I was trying to stay tuned into the conversation. I heard it from the beginning. Um, it was some deep stuff going on. I'm like, okay. I enjoyed that. Then I had to tap in and out of it, talking to the kids. But it was good. It's good overall. I'm like, let me
Oh,
get on here
cool.
right now.
Oh, cool then. We were just talking about did you see the post that I made earlier about the way young girls are dressing and stuff?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, just go check it out later. But it's basically saying that we need to pay attention to the what we're dressing our children in. They shouldn't be wearing the same things that their mother is wearing, just in a smaller size. You have children at the first day of school, they got their eyebrows done, their lashes done, full set of acrylic nails, and all in the eighth grade. It ain't even in high school. When I say I saw an eighth grader today with a wig, I was just like, and it's not just about the fact that she shouldn't be wearing a wig, but I'm just saying, I think that as young women that they're starting to glorify and like these things more than they like the natural things or things their natural hair. Like, you'll have a lot of people who have long hair. Young girls who have long hair and wearing wigs, and it's just like, they're not wearing the wig for because they have short hair. They're not wearing the wig because they're wearing a wig simply because they see everyone else wearing one. I think so, and it's glorified, and that's what they like now. It's just kind of like following along what you see everyone else is doing. And like mom said, who is this beneficial to? And one, just with the maintenance of a wig. Like, this is not good for your hair, especially if you're doing this all the time. So it's not just about the fact that you have older people wearing wigs, but it's the fact that they're young. Most likely they don't need a wig. It's not like they have alopecia or something. I cause cause that would be different.
But what if,
Um,
I'm sorry, but what if that's the same thing as people wearing braids too, though?
you think so?
In a way, yeah. In a way, yeah. Because
Well,
our
braids is a protective hairstyle, and I could see what you're saying. I could see, but I could see, but do think that a wig, I do think braids are more appropriate for an eighth grader than a wig. What you think, Brandon?
I would agree that it's a difference, right? And it's about how appropriate it is, because when you see a lot of these styles, they're associated with like something sexual in a lot of cases, right? So when you see the color as a guy, when you see colorful wigs, like you see a bright red wig, you are automatically look at that like this is something for a young man, a night, an hour. It's not nothing to be stayed with, right? So when you see children dressed like this, it's kind of feeding off of. It's like I guess it's more so of the origin. I'm just giving the origin where it came from, so it makes it inappropriate for a child because it came from the streets.
Right. And then put that with a full set of nails and a mini skirt.
Yeah, you look like a woman of the night.
And so, yeah, so I just think that we need to be mindful of that because, like I said before, no, I'm not saying it's okay. And no, that doesn't give pedophiles, just because of the way they're dressed, an excuse for him to be or her to be the way that they are. But how do we expect the men to know the difference when we are, almost look the same? We're wearing the same stuff. We have our hairstyles the same. We listening to the same music. We're dancing the same. And most moms, they're hanging with their younger daughters now too, in the same crowd. So that gets, that we have to be mindful of those things. There's a reason why there's sh- a woman or a young girl is a child and a young boy. There's a reason why children are children, and there's a reason why adults are adults.
I appreciate that. I would say yes to that. There's a reason that children are children and adults are adults. I will say this though, back in the day, you know, it was a lot of us, some of us young girls who didn't really look our age, and we didn't act our age either. Um, and
You
we
saying in the older times?
no, I'm saying in years in the past.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but if we weren't forthcoming on telling the person how old we were, that's something that they would have to ask. And then if they did ask, that don't mean we told the truth. We didn't always dress like a child, but that didn't. What I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is that this is not new, but it doesn't
Okay.
right. It doesn't make it right. I'm never ever saying that. I'm never ever saying that. However, I am saying is that we don't have to, just because something was done does in the past or something's being done doesn't make it right. How about that? Just because it's done, it's been done, it doesn't make it right. So just because we might have did that back in the day, or and just because people are doing it now, that doesn't make it right. Like you said, there's a reason that children are children and adults are adults, and that's how we need to leave it. I don't know where the cross came over, but this was years ago. Because, like I see, back in my day, we didn't necessarily act like children.
So this is nothing new, you're saying.
No,
Yeah.
we've been no,
This
no.
is my thing. Like this has always been my argument about this thing. Okay, why are you gonna serve your daughter up on a silver platter? That's me. People who have bad intentions for your kids are going to have bad intentions regardless. But okay, so like I quit shopping with Fashion Nova because I noticed that they had the same clothes for the little babies that adults wear to the club. Certain things should not be made in certain sizes. I call them prostitute clothes. What we're not going to do is that. You know what I mean? And just because you want your child to have freedom, just because you want them to be body positive, you could do that without serving them up on silver platters and having them out here half naked. I know mommies who do the mommy and me in the two-piece outfits and the booty shorts with their little ones. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's diabolical. Why would you dress your baby the exact same as you? What happened to the days where moms, got out of, they little sexy clothes a little bit to take photos in a nice dress with their children? Why do we both have to have on skin tight two pieces or biker shorts with the crop tops and the bobos in both of our hair? Why can't I look like a mom and she look like a daughter? And both of us be beautiful in that right. I personally think that our generation happens to be um one where we want our children to be mini me's. We're not actually seeing them as actual little individuals. We're actually seeing them as more of accessories. We want our clicks. We want our likes. We put our kids all over the internet, not just for our family members, but for other people to see them and tell us how cute they are, because that is the social media world that we live in. And what is that teaching to our children? That is teaching them, oh, you need to do this for clout. Oh, you need to dress like this for attention. You know what I mean? And it's hard, and it's something that I had to fight with back when I was a little bit more scantily clad and when I was a twerker and everything, because once I had my daughter, and she got a little bit older, I'm like, oh dang, she's picking up these habits that no matter how much I tell her you're a child and I'm an adult, if I act like that in front of her, she loves me, she adores me, she looks up to me, she gonna act like that too. You know what I mean? And no matter how much I tell her I'm grown, if I'm doing that in front of her face, that's the example that she's seeing. And I think that's a lot of what moms in our generation don't quite get. And I don't know if it's because we're the generation that went from basically no internet to everything being on internet, and we feel
Wow.
like we got to catch up because we're so behind on these other little girls out here and all of this other stuff. But I'm like, bro, I'm 36. You know what I mean? And I'm not
Mhm.
saying a girl got to become a fuddy duddy or nothing, but sooner or later, you got to grow up and quit trying to be a teeny bopper too. And sooner or later, you got to realize that bringing your daughters into that realm too early before they even know what they're comfortable with or not is a problem. We're supposed to be here to walk them through this with the best knowledge that we have. We're not supposed to be the ones teaching them how to be served up on a silver platter for God knows who. Because due to internet, who knows what these people are telling our kids? You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. And I see Felicia Robinson put on here, but our parents didn't know. And I'm thinking she's talking about how we left, how
Yes,
we. Yeah, and that's so true. That is so, so true. And that's something that I'm still applying to my life today. If you have to sneak and do it, then that means you shouldn't be doing it.
that is so true. And I think that makes a huge difference that your guys' parents did not know. So you were sneaking doing it, knowing that your parents would not have approved of it. Where now our parents, these parents are providing it for them. I really want to go as far as to saying that sometimes I don't even think the children care that much. It's the mom, it's the parents who's pushing it in front of them, just like Nike shoes and stuff. Like they don't really, a 3 or 4 year old like Messiah don't care about no Nike shoes or no Jordans.
They could light up though.
Yeah, I know, right? He like his light up Sonic shoes.
And this another thing too, and I'm not projecting or anything like that, but what I will say is that also when we look at the men and the women, who are we seeing more of this behavior coming from? That's just my opinion. That's just
Who do
my
y'all think? Go left to right. Who do y'all think? Starting with me. Um, I do think that, I do think it's the moms. I don't think the dads will have it as much. What about you, Daytria?
It's definitely the moms. It's definitely the moms. The children that I see that the dads are very involved, none of that is happening. It's yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's the moms and talking about how cute it is and want to argue with him over it. They're usually single. Like even things that I approve of for Zany, if there's a question whatsoever, like Austin be like, nah. And I'm like, nah, too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It is what it is, but moms are more lenient and we want our babies to be happy if they want some. You know what I mean?
Right, right. What about you, Brandon?
I ain't getting this with y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and handle y'all issue. I'm gonna stay up because somehow I'm gonna be the person who said something different. And I'm saying the same thing, so I'm gonna just let y'all have this one.
Okay, what about you, Mom?
I think it's the mom. I think it's the ladies. And I'm not all I'm saying is I think it's the ladies. We should have a and we should all you know what, that's a whole other thing too. What we could do is we could always have polls too. We could always have polls. We could ask and just gather this information. This is for our own data, for our own subject, our own topics, but just so we can have our own statistics and our own polling information to ask people for their honest feedback. Who do you think it is? Do you think it's more the moms or the dads? I think it's my opinion. I think it's the ladies.
Felicia Robinson says the mom as well. So that's our own little mini poll.
I
5 out of 5 people say
I
the mom, the
too short,
mother.
but when I
Hold
had
on,
two,
can you
I
ask me
couldn't
the
really
question
be
again?
listening to Too Short like that because he was talking about raw and off the chain. You can't, but I had to. I couldn't do that anymore. So what if I would not have done that? I'm not saying that nothing would have been bad or anything like that, but it has to start somewhere and then it has to stop somewhere. So I chose to stop it at a certain point. I chose to not allow some things. Not saying I'm perfect and we're perfect or anything like that, but some things I did recognize before I did it. And I think that's something that we need to do because who is saying this is right? We're saying this right.
Okay, so if it's the moms that we say, that
My opinion.
our opinion that it's the mothers that are kind of feeding into this and setting it up to be like this, we'll have some people say, well, I thought the men were the leaders. I thought the fathers were the leaders.
Well, some
So,
are single. It doesn't matter about the fathers being the leaders too. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I think when it comes to the children nowadays, I think the women have more of the impact as far as how they are allowing these things to happen and how they are encouraging some of these things to happen. Because there are some moms I think who think, oh, it's so cute, she's just like me. Yeah, that's okay that she could be just like you from the inside, like have a good heart, be loving, be kind, be respectful, be genuine, be grateful, be a God-fearing little child. But that doesn't mean she have to be this other person, whereas it's the makeup and the edges and the mascara, the lashes and the nails and all of that, because now we're just taking it to a whole different level. We don't have to do that. She's just perfectly fine the way she is, being the little version of you with your genuine kind heart.
Yes, and that's why they say mothers are the nurturers and fathers bring that structure and discipline. So when it gets to these ages, where the children need structure and discipline. That's why it is very important that the father is in the picture. Because sometimes, like Datriel said, we like, oh, but it makes her happier. But it might not. That doesn't make it right. But we have that more like we're trying to relate. We trying to see how it makes her feel. We're the nurturers. We're emoting with her. But sometimes you need to step out of that. Skip what you feel, skip what make her happy. I don't care. Who does this benefit? Like you said earlier, mother, who does this benefit? What attention is this bringing to you? How does this have an effect on the way that men are all around you are seeing you? You want to keep that in mind. You can't just be like, well, I feel like this or I'm okay with it, because the way you're dressing is not just affecting yourself, but the people that's around you, the behavior and attention that you get that you may not want to get. And so it is very important. Something just happened, but it should be good. But yes, and so I do feel like this was an important conversation, because it's like, when are we going to stop? We're supposed to be breaking generation no curses. So
Can I speak on
eh,
real the
go ahead, Deidre.
the men's part of being in there and saying their opinion about the way the kids dress and all that other stuff. Okay, here is my thing. We expect men to protect and provide, correct?
Correct.
Especially if we are going to be in the household more, or in my instance, I have the freedom to run my businesses because he does hold down the foundation. You know what I mean? Without him holding that foundation down, I would have to get a regular Douglas. I couldn't run my businesses. It just is what it is. But with that, no man wants to work all day, every day, and then have to come home and fight with any woman about putting his baby in no hoochie coochie Fashion Nova clothes and the battle that comes with that. So some men, even though they should stand up and be straight up like, nah, you know what I mean? It's a non-starter. Some of them just be tired like we be tired. My husband, he'll be like, nah, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. He'll fight over it. He don't care how tired he is. But a lot of men will not. So for us who are saying that we love our men, we respect our men, he is the protector and provider, I'm just saying, keep it in your head, boo. You're not going to be able to tell the kids yes all the time. And if you know your man and know what he will and will not, I won't say give permission, but what he will and won't support. We'll say what he will and won't support. Don't do stuff that man ain't gonna support. You could get her the one piece. Why you gotta get her the crop top? They ain't got a t-shirt. You know what I mean? They ain't got a skirt a little bit longer, friend. Like, why are you gonna give that man that stress and then turn around and pop off on him like, well, you were supposed to protect us, da 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 da, but you aren't working with him in order for her to be protected. And what you put them in when they're older, just know that it's going to get shorter and probably more scanty as they get older and find their sexuality, because that is what is popular, period. And little girls like to be popular and accepted. You know what I mean? Little boys, they like to take over territory and talk ish to each other and box in the streets and be silly in that sort of way. You know what I mean? But little girls really just want to be beautiful and accepted. And when they're looking up in everybody who is famous, are BBL Botox Barbies, and they dress in lingerie all the time, and that is what all they think the boys want, and all of this other stuff. It's just hard. And although it is hard as a mother to say no, you're beautiful the way that you are, but you got to show them other examples as well of women who are, more, I guess you could say, conservatively dressed or whatever have you. You know what I mean? We have to give them examples. We can't just say no. And we can't just be the only examples, because we're not Cardi. We're not Meg. We're not all of these people who are so far up on the pedestal, who are on all social media platforms. trying to encourage our daughters, but when you look at them, it's almost like our daughters can't get past their looks to even the words that they're saying. They're listening to the music, the lyrics of their song, and they're looking at their bodies. They're not looking at all their lives, hearing these celebrities try to tell them what's right from wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Social media comes in there, but they're also where we come in as a parent and take ownership in raising our children. Whatever happened to dress up? Whatever happened to that? Little girls have always, from the beginning of time that I remember, wanted to dress up. They wanted to put on polish. They wanted to put on lipstick. They wanted to put on hair. Yes, they wanted to do their makeup. Yes, but there's a time and a place, and doing it in public is not right. Secondly, the people that are on the out here in the public eye doesn't mean that these people are doing right by the way that they're living their life. They're just living their life in the public eye. And some people are gravitating to that. But then there's some of us that saying, hey, wait a minute, this is too far. This is too far. So I'm that person that say, hey, we still have control. Our control is never left. We have to remember that, though. We have to take ownership of that. We have to know that this has to stop and start with us. With us. Just because everybody else doing it, when did we become followers? We're still
It,
the when did we become followers? We're not
right.
followers. We're trying to make a difference. We're trying to make our children to be who they were created to be and helping them to evolve into the people that they're created to be. They're not of this world. They're not of this world. There are so many things that we don't agree with, but we have to understand that we have the power. We have to take our control back. Who said we didn't have the right to do that? That's what I don't get. Where did we get the mentality that we have to be followers? We've never been followers.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a teenage girl. I have a teenage boy, and he's just a lot different than a lot of boys his age or whatnot. But knowing that my daughter is gonna be a teenager one day honestly just terrifies me because the studies have shown that it has gotten so far away from us because of social media. You know what I mean? Like every little teenage girl pretty much has a cell phone. Almost all of them have TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. They people that we don't they're talking to or what these people are saying to them or how persuasive that they could be. Some of our little girls do have depression and things of that nature where they feel like their family doesn't care for them, but this person on the other side of the screen is telling them everything that they want to hear, and we don't know if they're manipulators or not. And I know people say, oh, watch your kids phone, da da da, this, that, and the third, but the way that we used to sneak out and figure it out, it's even easier for them now because of so much technology is everywhere. So for us parents nowadays, it's like, oh my God, you almost feel defeated almost, and I think that we need more education on how to keep our kids, I guess I want to say keep our kids involved in the family, not shelter them too much, but at the same time, let them be able to live a little bit without it being as terrifying. Or maybe we need to get more brave because it is terrifying. Like, you can do everything right with your child. They could have a bad day, and it takes a split second for a manipulator who's been doing this forever and a day to get into their dome. And now you don't even recognize your kid anymore. Like, it's just, I've seen it happen to people, and it's just wild. And like, I talked to my mom and my aunties and stuff about it. We have a really close knit family, but for the little ones who don't have a close knit family, the ones that their moms are working 24/7 or their dads aren't around or whatever the case may be, I'm honestly just terrified and don't know what we could do. And like I said, she only about to be 5 and I'm already about it.
Well, don't be terrified. Stick to your morals, stick to your values, because it starts with you. Once you and see, take that terror. You're not terrified. Don't even be terrified. Don't be terrified. You know right from wrong, and you're gonna raise your child that way. Yeah, and you're gonna be protective. That's our responsibility. We have to protect our children. We say we love them. We say we love them, and we love them with all our hearts and souls. This is our responsibility to help protect them and keep them safe. And sometimes that may mean sitting down with them, it may not happen one time. We might have to have the conversation 5, 20, 30,000 times. It doesn't matter. But we have to continue to instill in them and try to help them see that we're doing this because we love them, not because we're trying to deprive them of anything. And then we can also show them real life examples of what's happening.
Right.
So you know this is not what you want to do. This is not what you want to do. And if you're gonna trust anybody, I'm your mom. This is your dad. We brought you into this world. God bless us to bring you to this world. We love you. We care about you. This world is not of you. This world don't care about you. They might like you today and hate you tomorrow. And who are these people? You may not even ever meet these people. But who are these people that we're trying to impress?
That is so true. That is so true. You guys both said a lot of things. I know that one thing I wanted to touch on was that I saw a post not too long ago that was talking about the women who are now wearing the bows in their hair. Have you guys seen that?
The
I know,
bows.
Daytria, I know you do hair, so
Yeah, I don't have many clients who ask for the bows in their hair, but I know it's a trending thing right now. It
how do
really
you feel about it?
it came from the pinup scene. Pinup scene, we've always wore bows and all of that because it's 1940s, 1950s. You know what I mean? And women back then, even in their like early 20s and stuff like that, they would do the ponytail with the bow and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
what's wrong with that?
Think that the balls with like the knockers and all of that other stuff, that's a little odd to me. And the lollipops are coming back. But that's an aesthetic again that came out from rappers, and a lot of the women, at least out here on the West Coast, are just trying to stay young forever. And it's an indicator that you are younger. You could take that how you want to. I don't think that they're intentionally trying to play into the pedo realm of anything. I think that they're
Mhm.
doing it to be trendy and to be seen as young, kind of like when older women started getting tattoos on the bottom of their backs. You know, back in like the mid 2000s, when usually that was a little teenage girl game for a minute there. You know what I mean? Or nose piercings, and like older women are doing a lot of things to make themselves look younger to basically compete out here in this whole dating situation that I don't understand because I've never internet dated or had to swipe any of that stuff. So I don't
Mhm.
know, but it's a competition thing from what I understand. Yes, they're trying to look younger, but they're not trying to look illegal, and they are not playing into the fetishes of a schoolgirl. That's not what they're doing.
Okay, so how do you feel about the bows?
Um, I think that there's a time and a place. I think that if you're doing like a theme photo shoot or something like that, I don't really have a problem. I think that positioning of your body, I really think that there's a way to do everything. I'm like, they're bows. To me, they're just another hair accessory. Women also wear beads. It's the balls for me, the knocker balls for me. It's like, girl, what are we doing? We putting the plastic knockers in our hair. Let's not do that. I'd rather see the bows than that. The bows are made in a more grown material. If it was the bows with like all the fluffy on it, but I haven't really seen that either. I'm a little leery.
Okay.
Oh, I think that the hairstyle with the two ponytails and everything is super cute, and I look darn good. And some two ponytails, I wouldn't do it right now just because the climate is really weird for style out there, and it is all getting mushed together. And basically, women are doing everything they can not to age. And when you ain't got money for surgery, honey, sometimes you put a bow in. That's
That was a good one.
Brandon, can you give the male perspective? I'm sorry, chilling with Breeze. Could you give the male perspective and tell me what you think about since we are having a podcast and this is a conversation, it's okay for you as a male to say what you think, because you know what they will say is like, why does it matter what a man say about what we got going on? So what do you think about the bows and the women's hair?
I haven't saw it yet, but imagining it's weird. It's like childish. So it would definitely send up like a alert in my head if I saw it like childish. Stay away.
Really?
Dramatic, yeah.
He said he
Okay.
grown women. Darn it, he needs to know.
Hey, you ain't, because it's like you still that it shows a sign of something else is wrong here. Like, um, you want to be a little girl, just like even like wearing mics and stuff. It all like the same thing. Like grown women wearing mics, it's like the same thing. Like you still trying to be a teenager again. So
Okay. So
yeah,
so Datrielle said that she feel like women do it because they want to feel younger, not necessarily like they're trying to like be a little schoolgirl. But you're saying that you feel like it's childish. You feel like
even
they are trying to.
that feeling is childish. Like just wanting to be like that, wanting to feel that like that. That's it's like it's childish. You're trying to capture something that it's like you got something else you trying to work on. Not nothing serious with men.
I agree with him
Okay.
on. I think that we're saying the same thing, but just from two different perspectives. And his is like, nah, and mine is like, whatever you want to do, boo. I mean, but we both feel like you trying to look younger,
Uh,
and for that is childish to them because they love a woman in her womanliness and they like a woman who can be her own and not follow trends. And would you, this is my question, would you throw a bow in your hair if you weren't trying to compete with teeny boppers? Like, and if the answer is no, I'm like, girl, go out there and do something that you want to do. There are different ways to look younger. You could cut a bang, you could do some hair dye. There are 50 million things that you could do to still look younger than going to the good old beauty supply and throwing on the same bows that your teenage daughter wears.
Yeah,
yes,
and
mother.
So Dorsetta has done hair before, and she put those pretty colorful strings, like the glitter things in there. You know what I'm talking about, Dorsetta?
Hair tinsels.
Hair tinsel. Okay.
I'm sure you work with some of those too, right, Datrielle?
I use tinsel every single week. It comes with the braids.
Okay. Okay. So, um, and let's say for example a bow, let's say a hair going back with a pretty colorful bow back here. Let's say I got on pink that day, I want to put a pink bow. I don't see anything wrong with that, but I don't know exactly what you guys are talking about because I don't watch TV or I'm not on social media seeing all of these things that you guys are talking about what's trending. However, I don't see anything wrong with the bow. I don't know if you guys remember these things, but they have these claws, like these clamps that you could put on. People still wear those. It's just an accessory. I think it's just an accessory, and I think it enhances the outfit. It can
Yeah,
enhance the look. It makes it like, oh, like what's? I don't think it's anything wrong with that. But that's just my opinion. Like the tinsel, I would rock the tinsel all day long if I could.
yeah,
Or a bow. I don't see anything wrong with the bow. A bow could be very mature looking too. It doesn't have to be just childish.
agreed.
So I'm
Agreed.
not.
yeah,
I
I
uh,
think you will
about that.
have some.
Like there are grown women out here with the classic that you do on your baby, the four ponytails with the bobos, and then they make them long braids, or they do the bubbles, and then they will put barrettes between every bubble. Like
Yeah.
plastic. We're not talking silks, satins, chiffons with the brooch in the middle that is beautiful. You know what I mean? There are bows across the cultures. We're talking about the ones that you put on your baby. This girl done dug into her baby's hair supplies and said, "Oh, this match my outfit." And we finna throw five ponytails in my head with the classic two-strand twist that you do on your babies. The styles that I still wish I saw 10-year-olds wearing, but now they wearing weaves and we wearing they bows.
And
Like,
that's what
what?
I think, that's what the point I'm trying to get into. So you might not feel, and I'm a little back and forth about the bow. I'm a little back and forth, but I think where the confusion comes in at is that we have the young women wearing their hair like the moms do or the older women do, and then we have the older women wearing their hair like the young girls do, and we all walking together. So where's the how do we differentiate?
Most of these kids bigger than me too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you and my mom the same height. Y'all both somewhere probably around 4'12", five
Yep.
foot.
Yep.
So
It's wild out here. If I don't have hair in, my makeup done, some lashes on, if I just go out there, my little sweats and my little workout clothes, I look close to a lot of these teenagers. Like a girl has to get done up to look fully grown. And it's a thing. Like it's a thing.
I definitely so I know we've been on here 2 hours, but I really want to go into this real quick because like she said, she has to do a lot to make herself look her age or older, because I know your age because we the same age, but I don't think you look your age at all. And so are the millennials, our generation, are reaching a certain age and they're looking younger. And so there's this thing going around on TikTok about, how old do I look, and saying Gen Z people or Gen Z generation look older than they are. So let me play this real quick.
Okay, so this girl that says that Gen Z looks older than they are. How old do you think I am? First, like, how old?
How old y'all think she is?
I didn't hear it.
Just by the looks of her.
Can you do it
Okay, so
again?
this girl that says that Gen Z looks older than they are. How old do you think I am? First, like, how old? I'm about.
I can't hear you.
How
I'm
old does she look?
I say in her late 20s.
Late 20s. What you say, Daytriel?
I said like 25.
25. What you say, Brandon?
I'll say like 20. Yeah, anywhere 27. Give me 27. Put me in the middle.
I said about 26.
Okay, so this girl that says that Gen Z looks older than they are. How old do you
I'm
think I am?
sorry I can't
First,
fast
like,
forward or
how old?
anything, but it's only 20 seconds.
I'm about to turn 21. I feel like I still look like I'm 16. I don't know.
Okay,
Oh,
so she's 21. I would at least said 26. Okay, let's go into one
Gen
more.
Z is aging rapidly. Gen Z looks older.
Tell
What
me
about you
what
look my
y'all think.
age?
How old she look?
I'm gonna put on makeup and I'm gonna ask you again, but and I'm not gonna tell you my age until the end. All right, here's how I do my makeup. Can you tell I'm nervous?
Oh,
28.
y'all saw it.
I didn't see the age.
23.
23. Brandon said 28.
I say
What?
she's. I don't even think she's in her
27.
20s.
You don't
Oh,
think she in her 20s?
Mm.
Really,
Look at that.
mother?
Gen Z is aging rapidly. Gen Z looks older.
yeah, I
What do you
said
think I look my
23.
age?
She said 22.
I'm gonna put on makeup and I'm gonna ask you again, but and I'm not gonna tell you my age until the end. All right,
Uh-oh.
here's how I do
I
my
can't hear
makeup.
nobody.
Can you tell I'm nervous about this? Here, let me do the mirror.
I
'Cause if I
probably would have
post,
said
there
24,
is absolutely no
25.
way.
So I did a guess my age video, and guys, the internet is wild. Wild. Like some people said I
How
looked
old y'all
29,
think?
and then other people said I looked 55. Which, okay, not gonna be
How old?
offended. I'm the
How
one
old?
who chose to do the video.
I'ma
But I don't
say
have a
33.
filter on right now. And like I know I have gray.
What y'all say?
Late 20s, early 30s.
I
Yeah, I
said
say 30.
4.
How old, Datria?
I said like 24.
What you say, Brandon?
All right, I'm changing mine to 29.
So I did a guess my age video, and guys, the internet is wild. Wild. Like some people said I looked 29, and then other people said I looked 55. Which, okay, not gonna be offended. I'm the one who chose to do the video. But I don't have a filter on right now. And like I know I have gray hairs and stuff that are popping everywhere, but like 55, really? I'm not 55, so this is my age reveal. I am 42 years old. I'm a 42-year-old woman with 4 kids.
She,
Ah,
I
Scott,
would.
she looks good.
She looks good. So we have the millennials who are looking younger, and we have the Gen Z who are looking a little bit older. What do you guys think is playing a part of the generation under us looking older than they are? First of all, let's start with, can we start with Brandon and then go work our way to the left? Do we think that the Gen Z generation look older than they are? Do you, yes or no? And if so, why do you think, or what do you think is playing a part in that?
Okay. Real quick. How old was the second one?
The second one, are you talking about her?
Gen Z is aging rapidly. Gen Z looks older. Do you think I look my age? I'm gonna
Yeah,
put on
her.
makeup.
Me too.
22.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. So
How old did you say? You said 24, didn't you?
I think I said 29, 27, 29, somewhere. I was way off.
Okay.
But I was just going, not trying to guess if she looked younger or older. I was really trying to just she was yeah. She's stressing, I'm gonna just say that. Um but okay, are they looking older? I would say the ones on social media are looking older, but everybody look different on social media. But in real life, I don't see them looking older. Was it older, just older than their age, or older than the older generation? What you just asked?
Older
Sorry.
than their age.
Okay, okay. So I would say no, not more than usual. I think it always been some girls that looked older than their age, and then you had the ones that looked like little girls. I still think it's the same.
I do
You think
too.
it's the same?
Yeah. Now, to your second question, and I would say, why even a group? Even though this is like I say it's regular, it's nothing unusual. It seems like it's unusual because of social media.
I
That's
see
a
what you're saying.
fair.
Unusually high, I mean.
I see what you're saying. Okay. What about you, Datria?
I think that my opinion is a little tainted because of the industry that I work in. Because I do coach models and all of that jazz. I see most of the girls who get implants as soon as they're 18 and have been getting those jobs since they were like 15. So for me personally, my opinion, like I said, is a little tainted because of what I do professionally. I also believe that a lot of the girls are developing faster because of all of the hormones in the food. I think the girls who have been using cosmetics or have gotten cosmetic surgery early, they tend to look older because I mean they got cosmetic things done. And a lot of times makeup and all of the chemicals that you put on your face, yeah, it looks good in the moment, but keep on doing that for another good 5-10 years and see how fast you age without giving your skin time to breathe. I also think that it's the stress that a lot of younger people are under today as well because they're exposed to so much in the world while they that they probably shouldn't even be a thought in their mind. We naturally thoughts as teenagers, and to have all this other stuff just thrust upon us can add to that stress. They are also the most anxious generation of ever, and we all know what stress cortisol does to the body. So I think that is a few reasons, but like I said, I'm a little tainted because I see it all day, every day, because that is the industry that I work in, and it's funny because it's also a cultural thing. I work with people of a lot of different, and I notice that culturally, the things that we allow our children to do is very different. So yeah.
I thank you for elaborating on that. You basically took a lot of the words right after out of my mouth. The stress, social media. Um, I think that we even have a lot of younger children now. Like I said, they have skincare routines. Do you see how much different stuff they're using anti-aging stuff before they even have to use anti-aging? Like they're not even able to let their body do what it naturally does. Like we have young girls using retinol but before they even need to use retinol. Like, you know, your skin is going to do something naturally still just growing up that they're already using anti-aging. I think that's doing more damage than it is doing good. And so that along with all the other things you said, the fillers, the lip gloss, the plump lip gloss, the extensions, the all the chemicals, the all of those things I think are playing a part. The diet, um, eh, children are, especially young women, are developing at a much quicker rate because of the hormones and things in the food, the bad ingredients, the just so many different things playing a huge part in it. So when we're getting our lashes done, our hair done, our eyebrows done, nails done, skincare with all bad things. At this point, it's just a lot going on. So, and I'm talking health wise, from, you have wigs. And so with the wigs, you need lace glue. You might be like, oh, it's just lace glue. I'm not using it all the time. But read the back and look at all the chemicals. And then it's going into, okay, the nail glue. Well, I'm not using the nail glue all the time. Well, it's still chemicals. Then you go into the skincare. Well, I'm not using it all the time. Well, it's still a bunch of chemicals. Then you're going into the stuff they eat. Then you have so many things and technology around us that's giving off radiation that plays a part as well. All of these things that you're putting on the largest organ of your body, all the different chemicals from the products we're, you know, molding our braids down with, have so much toxins in it that we think that we're using them in moderation because we're not using each one all the time. But when you're adding up that each one of these things that you are putting on your body on a daily basis, that's playing a part in our health. And I think that's the most biggest part. And take it back to what mom said, who is this benefiting by putting all this different stuff in our body? Skip the physical part in the way that we're talking about, that it makes of the appearance, but just putting so many different products on our body. I think that we have to make sure that we're paying attention to that, because all of these different things that's not good for our body and truly plays a huge part in our health. Truly play a huge part in our health. So not only just our health, but I do think that that's the most important thing. And like I said, let the children be children. I think it's very cool to see the children and having skincare routine, but why not just teach them young to start off with the natural things? They don't really need all of that other stuff. If you turn something around and it got more than 5 ingredients in it, you can't pronounce any of them, then that most likely means that this is doing more damage to our body than it is doing good. Almost like what you were talking about, Daytriel, with the medication and things like that. A lot of this stuff that we're consuming, from food to products to everything, is doing more damage than it is doing good. It's getting down to not worrying about the moderation and the balance, but to pay attention to everything that we're using. And I know it might seem difficult, like it's so hard to get around, but I think that if we just go back to at least
The
when
base.
you need, yeah, try the natural route first. Try something that's natural. You might feel like it might not work for you. You might feel like it might not work as fast or as quick that you will like it. We are in this microwave society where you want this instant results. And so we're always, steering away from the more natural things. But I do think that we need to just keep that in mind when it comes to what we're putting on our body and what we're putting in our body. Just try the natural route first, see where it goes. If it doesn't work for you, then it don't work for you. Then go do what it is that you do next. But just try to go the natural route. And so I know I probably went a little bit all over the place with that, but hopefully y'all took a little bit from it. And so yeah, I do yeah, this was a great conversation. We talked about a lot of different things, from mental health, having a positive mental attitude, from making sure we let the children stay in the children's place, when it comes to the way we dress, the way we talk, the things that we're consuming. And it's all about balance. It's all about balance. Um and so anything else you guys want to add to that?
Um,
Hmm? Based on what happened, you saying
I'm
goodnight?
sorry. Anything else you guys want to add before we close out?
um, I want to. I want to say I enjoyed the conversation, um, listening into it and being a part of it, and I'm happy that y'all was able to have a peaceful conversation. Because not all the time do you get a peaceful conversation when you're talking about like just different like mental health and
Wow.
going into all the just different topics, how the children are dressed and stuff like that. A lot of times it's a lot of back and forth, so I enjoyed the fact that I was just able to sit and listen
Wow.
to a nice conversation.
That speaks
Yeah.
volumes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
thanks
you.
for sharing that, because I do think a lot of time on posts it does feel very combative. So it feels good when you get to come on camera and share perspectives and hear the tone behind it. And like you just said, it's not really going back and forth. We're going back and forth sharing our perspectives, and you're seeing a different just a different side to the conversation, how other people view things, which definitely puts things into you see it different, but and then the conversation is still respectful. And I feel like someone can take something away from what everyone is saying when you hear different perspectives.
And I
Yep.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the openness of the conversation. And I appreciate the fact that we can communicate, even though we all have different views and different opinions, but we can discuss them maturely, openly, respectfully, and courteously. And that means a lot. That speaks volumes. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, cool. I
Well,
thank all of you guys for. Oh, go ahead, Daytria. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I skipped over you. My apologies.
all good, but thank you all for having a girl. I know I hopped on and I just realized like y'all were talking about something completely different. And he's talking about mental health. But thank you for having me, and girl, I love you. And I've been hopping on since high school, like what you're not gonna do is mess with her. Heart is amazing. And no matter how she said it, notice she said it with her heart full and for your own good. So
And I just,
Oh, thank
So,
you.
it was meant for you to be here tonight. It was meant for you to share what you shared. You shared things that is going to help somebody else. I promise you that with all my heart and soul. And I'm so grateful that you came on when you did. That was all God. That had nothing to do with you. That had nothing to really do with you. It wasn't no accident. It was right on time. And it happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. And then we had the pleasure of meeting and then conversing as well. And I'm so grateful for you.
yeah.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I guess my light wasn't meant to be on because I keep knocking it out, and we know I'm too black for this, so I'm just make sure we um I get this back on.
Dark,
But
baby. Hershey special dark. It ain't for everybody.
you so funny, Mama. I thank you guys for tuning in. Um, Brandon's on another screen. I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Daytriel, for coming. and joining and sharing your perspective. Thank you, Mom, for starting off the show. You did great. I think we need to do that more often.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, that's another episode for the books, and I'll see you guys next time.
Next time. Good night.
Bye.